Lesson number 13, Trigonometry Day 3. Notice that we've had to cut out our online practice test because it's COVID, and so we can't do that right now. We just have one more lesson after this. Okay, so today is going to be about Law of Sines and Cosines. So this is lesson 13, Trig Day 3. You can see Miss Cooper has cut out previous work. It's just important to know the differences. You're gonna see you don't have to memorize these equations. These are already on the ACT anytime they ask about it. We're gonna talk about how to know the difference between them though. So when do we use which? We will use the law of cosines whenever we have side, 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 or side, angle, side. What I mean is all three sides are given, side, 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 or they give us a side with an angle in between another side. This is the more difficult of the two. Easy to spot, more difficult to do. Down here, law of sines is best to use if you have sides facing angles facing sides, angles facing sides. That's important. Or if you have angle, angle, angle. You might be thinking, Cooper, there's only two angles here. Guess what though? We know that every triangle adds up to 180. And so if I were to subtract 48 and 22, we would know that this angle is 110. And then, ooh, that is so hard to read. And so then we would have our angles facing sides. Okay. Like I said, law of sines is easier, so we want to use it first if we can. The most important part of this is recognition. So what I would like you to do on this next page is you don't have to solve anything. I just need you to know which one. So I want you to pause for just a minute over this and decide should it be sine or cosine. Take just a sec. Okay, I hope you did. So right here we can see that this side is facing this angle, angle is facing side, angle is facing side, so I hope you said law of sines. Looking at number 2, you can see we have a side, an angle, and then a side. So that should be law of cosines. Number 3, we have side, 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 so law of cosines. Number 4, we have 42 facing 56 and 100 facing x, so that's law of sines. Number 5, again, we know these two. I guess I didn't do it. 180 minus 108 minus 40. If I subtracted these, 180 minus 108, it's 32. Ugh. So if 32 is facing x and 40 is facing 60, once again we have law of sines. And right here, our last one, we can see it's side, angle, side, so cosines. That takes practice. You have to just practice seeing it. So this is how to solve. Okay, and it's not going to go into super intense work here, but hopefully it will help. You can see that this side, or this angle is facing this side, and it's saying, what's AB? Oops, what's that? So, okay, let's start. Cooper, slow down. So I can see the sine of 64 is facing 26, and I've got my angle 41, sine of 41 is facing my side x. Okay, when I have a fraction equals a fraction, I can cross multiply. So I'd have x times sine of 64 equals, I don't know why my pen's cutting out, 26 sine of 41. And then I want x by itself, so I'm going to divide both sides by sine of 64. In my calculator, I would put in my 26 sine of 41, like it says, and I would hit enter. Then divided by the sine of 64. Otherwise, you're trusting your calculator too much to know order of operations. So that's closest to C. Let me do another one of those for you. We're trying to find AC. So we can see that 36 is facing that. Sine of 36 is facing X. And then this angle 116 is fine. So sine of 116 is facing 23. Okay, we're going to cross multiply. We get X sine 116 and 23 sine 36. I want to get X by itself, so I'm going to divide both sides by sine of 116. And so in my calculator, again, I do 23 sine 36 divided by the sine of 116, and I get 15.04, closest to C. Oh, goodness. Maybe you want to try number 3 real quick and see if you can do it. So again, we're wanting A to C. So we've got sine of 96 is to X as 45 is to 27. So sine of 45 is to 27. Why is it not focusing? Okay, cross multiply. We get X sine 45 equals 27 sine 96. Divide by the sine of 45. And this time we should get 37.97. That's going to round us up to 38. Be careful, man. Those are like really tight in there. Okay, then we need AB. So sine of 88 is to X as, this time I have to find out what this angle is. So again, 180 minus 62 minus 88 is going to tell me this is 30. I can't use 62. It's not facing the 17. Okay, be careful. Okay, cross multiply, we get X sine 30 equals 17 sine of 88 divided by the sine of 30, and we get 33.97, which rounds that up to 34. Okay, going in a different direction. So that's all finding, these are all finding missing sides. Now we're going to find a missing angle. So we can see that we have sine of 67 facing 21, and this time we want angle B, and so B is facing 18. You could have just put a B there if you don't like the theta. Theta is just the X in trig, and it's fancy. Don't you want to be fancy? I'm so fancy. Oh my word. I don't even know if anyone's watching these videos anymore, so here I am, being Cooper. Okay, so this time I had to divide by 21 because that's sine of theta. I can't just like get rid of it. I had to divide by 21. So in my calculator, 18 sine 67, enter, divide by 21, and I'm going to get this weird number. Remember what we said? The opposite of sine is sine inverse. So I'm going to do second. Ooh, I'm going to give you a hint. Second sine. And then here's the shortcut. Second negative. What it is it puts that answer in as if I put in 0.789. You can see it's pretty much the same, but it saves you time. So if I had 52.09, you can see that rounds it up to 52.1. Would you be willing to try this one? Who knows if you are, but I'm going to assume you did. I'm so proud of you for trying. So we're looking for the sine of C to be facing 8, and we know that 89 is facing 16 there. Sine of 89 is to 16. Okay, we're going to cross multiply. 16 sine of C, 8 sine of 89. And we gotta get sine of C by itself, so we're gonna multiply. This time I use C instead of theta. I'm not fancy anymore. Quit singing. Okay, so I get 0.499. Is that true? Why did I write B last time? So weird. So anyways, I would do sine inverse of 0.499, and that would be 29.99, which is pretty close to 30. Mercy. All right. Well, let's see what this has. Why did it do the same one? That's sad. That's really sad. You don't get to practice cosine. Let it go, let it go. Okay, so area is 1/2 AB sine C. So what it's saying is that A and B are those sides, and sine C, that's capital C because it's that angle. So it looks like cosines, law of cosines, but it's not, it's the area. I cannot believe I cut that. Is it up here? Rude. Okay, area is 1/2 AB sine C. So 1/2, my A and my B are the ones on the side. So 14 times 10, and then sine, and then whatever this angle is, 57. I'm so mad at myself. It says 1/2, I'm just gonna use 0.5. 0.5 times 14 times 10, sine of 57 is 58.71. Looks like it's gonna be C. So I'll just go down. 1/2 AB sine C. It's easier to memorize it if you write it down. So we've got 1/2. My A and B are my sides, that 13 and 6. 13 times 6 sine C, or this 23. And so I'm going to do 0.5 times 13 times 6 times sine of 23. I get 15.23, or A. 1/2 AB sine C, 1/2 of my sides, 14 and 8. 14 and 8 sine, my C is 99. And when I do 0.5 times 14 times 8 times sine 99, I get 55.31, which is A. Would you be willing to try this right side? Okay, so you should have said 1/2 of 14 times 7 sine of 126 is B. You should have said 1/2 of 10 times 6. If you said 16 times 10, you are fine. It just depends on the flavor of the day, as long as it's the sides. 1/2 of 15 times 16 sine of 26 is C. And we're done with this one.